Access to capital is an essential part of doing business. Research conducted by Global Capital Inc. and 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York is showing that over $1.7 trillion is available among private equity investors in dry powder. Now, in spite of this, we're seeing micro, small, medium, and large-scale businesses across the world continue to struggle to raise capital to invest in the growth, diversification, and the scale-up of their brands. The private equity investors, they are thinking cash flow and they are thinking risk control. And if you're able to put yourself in that position of strength to be able to speak to these two issues, cash flow and risk control, you may be very surprised to see how quickly you can access equity capital market when your brands are positioned in front of the right private equity investors. I want to encourage you to join me on this journey as we continue to do a deep dive into best practices to access the capital market. In this program, we will continue to look at the credit capital market, the debt capital market, equity capital market, and smart capital market. Join me as we explore the world of finance. Be blessed and see you soon. Like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon will leave you with a lot of aha moments, particularly so when you start to look at these brands' balance sheet. It is showing that these companies, because of mindset, because of corporate culture, because of the value proposition, that they're able to drive their business cash flowing potential to billions of US dollars, and in many cases, 200 plus billion US dollars, these companies are able to drive. Today, I want to do a little deep dive into analyzing some of the systems that they are using. Today, I want to introduce to you also a very new subject matter that is written into my book that is titled 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint, the Psychology of Doing Business. And that subject is titled System Value Proposition 101. Now, what exactly is System Value Proposition 101? System Value Proposition 101 stands on two important pillars. One, you will understand the 8 marketing and management systems that the big companies are able to use. You will also look at 6 quality control management systems that is also necessary. And of course, some of this information that we are bringing to you is based on the information that we are extracting. And of course, where we are seeing gaps and loophole and weaknesses, we are filling those up to ensure that we can bring you a comprehensive data that is relevant to helping you to build out a strong branding and marketing ecosystem that will enable you to make the largest alike impact on the marketplace. So today we will be digging in deep into the System Value Proposition 101. And of course, you're going to be learning a whole host of techniques in terms of branding and marketing and also quality management system. All right, so for those who are joining me for the first time, my name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the self-published best-selling author for several books, including Manager's Toolkit and Billionaire Quotes. And of course, I would have said that I'm also the author for 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint. So if you're in business and you want to know how to scale your business, your ideas with local, regional, and international relevance, listening to these content and getting that book also when it comes out, it will definitely be a game changer in how you manage your business. This content is really designed to give you A to Z in the strategic techniques that you can use to build out your brand. All right. So I want to encourage you to like this podcast, like, subscribe, and share. Press that notification bell so you will be the first to get these content that we bring into you on a regular basis. All right. So let's dig into today's program. And of course, we are talking about system value proposition 101. System value proposition 101 stands on two important pillars. One, you understand 8 important branding and marketing management systems, and you need to know it. These systems represent things like the brand traits optimization, the brand visibility optimization, the brand reach optimization, the brand impact optimization strategies. It also looks at brand conversion, brand confidence, brand trust, and brand credibility. These important branding and marketing systems is a game changer. It's important for you to commit the time, talent, and resources to learn, apply, master these systems. And I want to assure you that once you put yourself in that position, trying to be able to apply these techniques effectively to the life of your business, you will see a significant up-leveling in the cash flowing potential of your brand. Along with this, you will also be learning the 6 quality control management systems. And here is where the entire branding and marketing management systems will now be collapsed on the quality control management by the 6 quality control management systems. And of course, successful brands like the Amazon that in the year 2020 would have earned over 220 billion US dollars. You don't get there by accident. You get there by design. And systems are part of the designs that help you to build out your brand to achieve this level of financial success. So under the 6 QCMS, or the quality control management system, you will learn things like the importance of system transparency. You will learn things like the importance of system consistency, system accountability, system scalability, system traceability, and system transferability. Of course, big companies, big brands like the Walmart that employs in excess of 2 million persons throughout their value chain. Um, they have these systems that can be easily transferred from country to country, from different borough to different borough, largely because they have these systems. So I trust that you find today's content interesting. And of course, as I keep saying, our role here at Global Capital Inc. and 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York is to provide you with this kind of information. And we know that many persons may not be here as yet. You may not be ready for all of this as yet, but you still need to know it, because if you're in business and you want to position yourself to become the game changers, the dream makers, the trendsetters, you want to become the global thinkers, the social actors, and the transformational leaders, this content of information will start to lay that foundation that allows you to start to develop the confidence, the trust in yourself to be able to get into business and think. You may start small, but you have a global mindset. All right, we are here for you. And along with this, we have the training programs, we have the mentorship, we have the coaching, we have the support mechanism to ensure that once you have that desire to grow and leapfrog your business growth potential and leapfrog your cash flowing potential, your business cash flowing potential, we are here for you to provide you with that support. So understanding these two systems is where we're going to take a deep dive into today. And of course, it's a lot of information, so we will not examine everything today, but over the next few days, we're going to take one of them and we're going to examine them. And the first element that we're going to be looking at, it comes on the branding and marketing management system, the BMMS, branding and marketing management system. And one of the first things that I want us to talk about is what we call the corporate culture value proposition ecosystem. It's the same thing. I did say use another term earlier on. I talked about the brand traits optimization, but what exactly is the brand traits? The brand represents your brand. So in this case, I'm now calling it the corporate culture and value proposition ecosystem. There are two important things that your brand, your corporate culture, and your business value proposition ecosystem should represent. One, it should paint a very clear picture about what is the brand intention. And we'll talk about that today. We'll dig deep into that today. And what is the brand expectation? These two things must be very clear to the minds, in the minds of the branding and marketing manager and the company leaders. All right. So what exactly do we mean by the term, the brand intention value traits? And just before I get into this, I would always say to our clients that there's a right and wrong time to start the brand visibility. You don't get to brand visibility unless you fix the brand traits optimization process, until you fix the corporate culture ideology, until you fix the value proposition that you're going to be making to the public. You don't get public until you're clear on these things. Your corporate culture ideology must be clear to you. How is your corporate culture built out to influence the workforce, influence the target market, influence the general public? And we'll talk about that today. And how is your corporate culture designed to unpack the short and long-term corporate vision, the short and the long-term corporate financial projection, backed up by a strategic project implementation blueprint. So we're going to go into all of this today and really ensure that moving forward, you are exposing your branding and marketing managers to this content of information so they can, one, learn, they can apply, and they can master it and literally transfer this body of knowledge to your organization to ensure that your brand can now be positioned more strongly, locally, regionally, and internationally. Again, I keep saying that this content is for the entrepreneur who is not comfortable with where they are at. You want to grow, you want to scale, you want to diversify, you want to make global impact. This is the platform for you. We have a team of dynamic resource personnel that are committed and passionate about really working with businesses to ensure that businesses are reaching their full potential. So let's get into it today. So we're talking about the brand intention value trait. And one of the first things that you want to ask yourself is how is or are your brand designed to impact the workforce? And of course, your ability to answer this question will ultimately predetermine your ability to compete in an international space. I repeat, your ability to answer this question will ultimately or will predetermine your ability to compete and win in an international space. Now let me put this to you. You're building out your institution and your key focus is cash flow maximization. There's nothing wrong with that. But that should not be the first point of focus. And let me say why. Your first point of focus must be on how you're building out your corporate culture, how you're building out the value proposition, how you're building out the brand intention value traits to impact your workforce. Your workforce represents your team dynamics. You're in your team dynamics, you have persons who are going to be product innovators. You have persons who are going to be the public relation, the marketing, the CFOs. You have all of these teams that are going to be working for you to ensure that you are achieving the business objective. But guess what? If your value proposition, your corporate culture, your brand intention value trait is not designed to influence and impact this specific target group we call the workforce, what is likely to happen? And things do go wrong. When you do research among micro, small, medium businesses, you see that absenteeism is rampant. You see that staff turnover is also rampant. And all of those things affects the business potential to function the way it is originally designed to function as that cash flowing machine. If your corporate culture, your brand intention value trait, your value proposition is not making the large life impact on the workforce, you will have absenteeism. You will have staff turnover. And I continue to emphasize when you have this, you have to go through the recruitment, the selection, the placement, and the climatization process. All of this not only takes time, but it takes money. And at the same time, it causes you to lose income. It also causes you to lose face and credibility in the eyes of the public. Because when your value train, your distribution manager is not at work, when the team are absent and you cannot deliver the product on time, what happens? You shape in the specific target market opinion of your ability to stick to the promise that you've made. To deliver on time, within budget, consistently. It affects public opinion of you, largely because you did not decide to take the time to design and build out a unique value proposition, a unique brand intention value trade, a unique corporate culture that impacts the workforce. So it's important for you to take the time to understand this. And just let me give you an example. Many of you would have heard me saying, there are big brands like Amazon, like Google, like Microsoft. The way that is really set out to impact the workforce is really aha moment. And I say this largely based on the fact that we're seeing workforce, they are able to benefit from medical facilities at no cost. They are able to benefit from daycare for their kids at no cost. They're able to benefit from lunch and meal at no cost. They're able to benefit from recreation at no cost. What impact do you believe that your corporate culture will have on the workforce if you are to adopt these systems? And yes, I know these are big billion, income generating companies at another standard. But of course, this platform is literally about one helping you to understand this. And if you want to compete and win at a global level, it's important for you to understand this. Yes, you may not be ready for this based on your size and based on your way of thinking and your ideology. My role still is to ensure that you get it informed, you get the information, so you can make an informed and educated decision as to the next best steps that you can take to position your brand to upscale, to position your brand to integrate. And when you recognize that you're losing your best staff to big companies, you must know why long before it happens so you can make again an educated decision about the best practices that you can adopt into your corporate culture, into your value proposition, into your brand intention value to ensure that you're making the larger than life impact on your target market. I keep saying that international competition, they're not particularly concerned with what you can do and what you cannot do. In fact, when they see your weaknesses, because they're doing their SWOT analysis, they smile because they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, they understand market opportunities, and they understand market threat. And you definitely not going to be a threat because you cannot match their value proposition that they're developing to impact their workforce. You are no threat when it comes to their brand intention value trait to impact their workforce. You are no threat when it comes to your corporate culture to impact your workforce because they have the capabilities, the ability, the cash flow, disposable income to do this with a smile on their face, knowing that they're going to have loyalty, knowing that they're going to have high performers, knowing that they're going to be having these highly motivated workforce who are going to be driving the production, factory to cash flow maximize and ensure that they continue to drive their business and drive their brand to continue being $1 billion by US standards cash flowing machines. My role is also to ensure that you know that. So as you build out your corporate culture and value proposition ecosystem, it's important that you stop and take stock of some of these things. And of course, this is one of the reasons why we are here at 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York, is to ensure that as we talk to you about branding, as we talk to you about marketing, we can really shape your ideology in adopting best practices that will make it easy for you to 10X your brand. All right, 10X your brand visibility, 10X building out your brand to impact your workforce. Again, we keep saying if you impact your workforce, you don't have to worry that much about absenteeism. You don't have to worry so much about staff turnover. So along with this, in this book, 10X Branding and Marketing LLC, blueprint, we've also talked about self-actualization in a manner where you're having selective self-actualization. Could you adopt this as part of your corporate culture to impact the workforce? Yes, you can. Do you want to know how? Well, you already know how. You can reach out to us at 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York and Global Capital Inc. And we will be happy to work with you to ensure that you're getting this kind of information so you can separate yourself from the other players in the market. You can distinguish yourself in the market and ensure that you're laying that foundation to grow, diversify, expand, compete and win at an international level. And you don't have to worry about absenteeism and staff turnover. So as you look at your brand intention value trait, the first question you see you must ask yourself is, how is your value proposition? How is the corporate culture? How is the brand intention value trait designed to impact the workforce? So here is where you want some of the best think tankers. All right. If you need access to them, make contact with me. I'll be able to expose with some of our thinkers from different parts of the world to really help you to build out a very strong and corporate culture, a strong value proposition, a strong brand intention value threat. All right. Good. So I trust you had that first part and you're taking notes here. So as you look at your corporate culture and value proposition ecosystem, I also want you to ask yourself, under the brand intention value trait, is how is your brand designed to impact your target market? How is your brand designed to impact the target market? Now, most sales managers and sales representatives, the objective is to transfer the goods to the customer and extract the cash from the customer. And this is where the sales transaction begins and ends. Is this your corporate ideology? Does this represent your corporate culture value proposition ecosystem? If so, you need to rethink that whole process. All right? You need to rethink the entire process. As it comes to asking yourself how you want to impact the final consumer, the target market, it's important for you to understand a range of important systems and ecosystems. First, you want to understand how to pique interest, how to grab attention, how to arouse desire, how to move the customer into action, how to make impact. And once you're making impact, how to convert first-time users into lifetime customers. What is your ecosystem saying about that as it relates to impacting the specific target market, the specific demographic? What is your ecosystem saying about that? And once you start to reach the point where you are impacting the consumer, the target market, you want to now ask yourself, how can you build out your brand to achieve the larger than life impact? Where you know that the system that you're using, the blueprint that you have designed, is going to help you to convert first-time users into lifetime customer. This is way beyond the sales objective. The sales objective is to make a sale. But under this ecosystem that we're talking about, you want to do more than the sale. You want to make that sale. You want to make impact, and you want to be able to convert first-time users into lifetime customer. Understanding these ecosystems and applying these ecosystems is going to give you the competitive advantage. Why do you think the big top 100 companies in the developed world, they're able to do this and do it consistently and consistently generate hundreds of billions of dollars at US standard consistently? Do you think it happened by accident? No, they have a blueprint for these things. At Global Capital Inc. and 10X Branding and Marketing LLC, we have made this a study. We have made this our way of life in order to ensure that we are making the highest and strongest representation for our clients. You come to us, we're going to ensure that you get in the 10X, the A game branding and marketing strategy to 10X your business cash flow at the leapfrog your business growth. What does your blueprint says about what does your blueprint says about impacting the target market? What does it say? And if you need help to build out this value proposition to impact the workforce, you're at the right place. This platform will help you. We will work with you. We have a number of subject matter who have years, over 20 years of experience in this field to ensure that we are working with you to ensure that you're building out a large life impact at the target market. Now, man, let me say this to you. The target market is what is going to enable you to cash flow maximize. The target market is king. They're queens. They are the blood supply to the organization. They are the air supply. So if you are not committing the time, the talent, and the resources to ensure that your best minds are building out a think tanking ecosystem to think ahead, see beyond problems, and take informed actions to build out that strong blueprint to impact the customer, Your competition is going to do it for you. Believe me, your competition will do it for you. And as I said to you, the way the top 100 companies operate, they don't react to market realities because they're always in that proactive mood. They're always thinking ahead, seeing beyond problems, and taking informed action to achieve desired results. They are the game changers. They are the persons who are influencing the ebb and flow of economic realities across the world. They are not reacting. So while we have the 1% of the top thinkers in the world who are proacting, we got the 99 point whatever percent who are reacting. And as an entrepreneur, you don't want to react to market reality because you invested enough time, talent, and resources to get enough skin in the game to become market sensitive and market oriented that allows you to operate in the market from a more informed standpoint. Our subject matter experts will work with you to ensure that you are there. Or if even you are not there, you can go to sleep and smile knowing that you are a part of a network. You have subcontractors, you have consultants who are thinking this way, and they're able to bring that ideology, that way of thinking to represent your brand. All right, they're there for you. And that's why we are here at 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York and Global Capital Inc. We are here. We have a team of thinkers, global thinkers, social actors, transformational leaders who have tremendous success in their field across the world that are willing to bring their A game to ensure that they're helping you to scale with local, regional, and international relevance. And when my book come out, 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint, the Psychology of Doing Business, it's going to be the book for you because this information is all there. This book should have been out since last year. But I took the time to do more in-depth research. We took the time to do more in-depth research to ensure that when we bring this to you, it reaches your expectations and it goes beyond your expectations. This is how committed we are to adding value to our network, our community, our clients, our investors. We see you as part of that. And we will leave no stone unturned to ensure that we give you more than the value you deserve for whatever you're going to be investing to achieve your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations in business. Okay? Now, we are still looking at the corporate culture value proposition ecosystem. We talk already about the brand intention value trait and how the brand is designed to impact the workforce, how the brand is designed to impact the specific target market. Now let's talk about how your brand is designed to impact the public. And I know those who might have been through traditional marketing branding classes, you may not have been exposed to a whole lot of information in terms of impacting the public. But of course, market reality changes. And of course, intellectual training content, academic content also has to change with that. It's important that as you position yourself to do business, for you to up-level your impact blueprint beyond the workforce and your target market. You want to up level it now to the general public. Why? Because the general public can be your LP, limited partners. Your limited partners might be the DCF, the debt capital market. It might be the private equity investor. It could be an accredited investor. It could be influential persons that can refer hundreds and perhaps thousands of persons to use your brand through their platform. That's the general public. They may never use your product or services. They may never use your brand, but it doesn't mean that the public cannot influence positive public response towards your brand. So the question is, how are you building out your brand intention value chart to influence the general public? So I trust that you have enough information to really understand that in building your brand is not just to look at the target market. It's not just to look at, your workforce, but you want to influence the public. When the public sits at their table to have a conversation, like how I'm having a conversation here with you, remember to put information into that chat box. Tell me what you think about the content. Share your ideas. You might have some better ideas than I have. Share that with me. Start a conversation. And at the same time, remember to like, subscribe, and share. All right. Find me on YouTube, Global Capital Inc., Gary Thompson. Find me on YouTube. Find me on Facebook. Like, subscribe, and share. If you're in business or intend to get into business, this is the platform for you. So you want to normalize conversation around the boardroom, around the coffee table, around the sitting room. When you have a good brand, that happens. Everybody want to talk about the Amazon and what Amazon is doing, growing from a very small industry, a very small mom and pop, a very small, institution. The guy left his, traditional job and decided to go and sell books online and up level this idea to what it is today, a multi-billion-dollar industry by US standards. Talk about Google. All right. People want to sit at the table and talk about Google. One of the fastest search engine that we have in the world that is you're able to access information, leverage information. People want to talk about the potential of this in industry to cash flow maximize and what they have been doing over years. People want to talk about the potential of investing in these industries. And here is where we talk about back-end and front-end analytics. I'm not going to get into that today. But do you want the public to speak about your brand in this way? Are you building out the kind of corporate culture, the kind of value proposition? Yes, we know you're small, but you start small with a big picture. So within your 5 to 20-year business development plan, your 5 to 10-year business plan, you see yourself getting here. All right, you don't have to have everything in the beginning. We will work with you, but we can get you there. Once your ideology is right, once you have the will, we will show you the way. So it's important that you take the time to build out your corporate culture and your value proposition. We call it the corporate culture and value proposition ecosystem, that you can do that deep dive into that. If you and your team cannot do it for yourself, I want to encourage you to engage with us. We are extremely happy and committed to that process of working, supporting you to ensure that you can achieve your corporate dreams, hopes, and aspirations. So it's important that you build out your corporate culture, build out your value proposition, build out your brand intention value trade, that it takes into consideration how you're going to be building that out to impact the public. The how, the technical approaches as you come into our consultancy and into our training program, our master classes, we will be exposing you to these information because it is useful, it is necessary. If you want to have information that is going to help you to become the game changer, we will expose you to that kind of information. All right. And as I keep saying, we have a team of certified public accountants. All right, some local, some international. Many of them are from international platforms. We have a team of economists. We have a team of persons who are actively involved in private equity investment. You have a team of business consultants. You have a team of legal minds that are going to be working with you. Some local, some overseas, international. All right. You have influencers that we continue to build relationship with. And all of that will show behind you to ensure that we are helping you to build your business ideology, build out your business ecosystem to achieve impact. Impact with relevance, local relevance, regional relevance, and international relevance. So far we have discussed these 3 areas of impact. We talk about the value proposition impact in the workforce, the value proposition impact in the target market, the value proposition, the brand intention value should impact in the general public. Now, once you would have developed this, it is important now to ensure that you're going beyond the brainstorm, and you have now designing the blueprint, and you are now implementing the blueprint. All right, you're designing the blueprint and implementing the blueprint. Now, what exactly does that mean? How do you plan to impact the workforce? Is there a blueprint to achieve this? How do you plan to impact the target market and convert first-time users into lifetime customer? Where is the blueprint? You need the blueprint. How do you plan to impact the public and ensure that you have the influencers on your side? You have the accredited investors on your side. You have those who are part of the private equity investment space are a part of your team. Those who are in the DCM, the debt capital market, are part of the general public who are there cheering you on. Where is the blueprint? And once you have that blueprint, the implementation process is necessary. And when it comes to the implementation process, we will definitely work with you to ensure that you have a project manager. Yes, all the skill sets that we have talked about is necessary, but the project manager, they have a specific skill. I know that. All right. They are able to assess the project integrity, the project start and end date completion criteria. They can set up your WBS, the work breakdown structure, to take the vision for all of these different departments and they throw it into WBS, the work breakdown structure. That literally gives you a bird's eye view and a panoramic view of the steps that you have to take to achieve a desired end results. The project manager brings the skill set that allows you to see the beginning, the end, and the middle of a given process. They allow you to apply your creative thinking ability, your prefrontal cortex, to see the beginning of that process, the end of that process, the in-between of that process. They are trained in this area. So you need that person to interpret the entire vision and bring life to it, working alongside all of the other skill sets, all of the other team dynamics to ensure that you achieve the objective. You want to play the game like how the top 500 play, like how the top 100 play the game to win the game and generate billions of US dollars in US standards. These systems will help you. So this is enough that I'm going to give you today on the brand intention value trend. We also talk about the brand expectations value trend. And this is important to talk about this. So on one side, you have the intention. This is you making a conscious decision how you want to add value and how you're going to fix profit. All right, and we look at the different chain or levels that you're going to be doing this with the workforce, with the target market, with the general public. You clearly identifying how you're going to be adding value and how you're going to be fixing problems. Now you move a little bit further and you start to ask yourself, as I add value, as I position my brand to add value and fix problems, what is my expectation? This is about you, your expectation. But you think first of all about adding value, fixing problems, and then secondary is the expectation. So here is where you're asking yourself, what is the short and long-term vision of your brand? Is that vision to just grow your brand with local relevance? And over what period of time? Is it to grow your brand with regional relevance? And over what period of time, short and long-term vision? Is it to grow your brand with international relevance? And what is the timeline for this? It's important for you to think tank this process and to ensure that your team dynamics are really taking ownership of the brand expectations value trend. Because the last thing that you want to do is to add value above and beyond people's expectations, and the short and long-term vision is not being realized. Remember, in business, it must be intentional, and that intention must be backed up with a design, a blueprint that's going to get you there. You must know this. Also remember that if you think in lack, limitation, doubts, and fear, that's going to be the end result. But if you think abundantly, like we are now trying to provide you with the kind of information to get you there, where you now start thinking like the top 500 and the top 100 companies. And I said, there's a lot of aha moment here because these companies are able to generate income that we are seeing many developing economies and middle income economies, they are not achieving this. Now, this speaks of a mindset. If a corporate entity looking at their regional and international value chain like Walmart can employ 2 million persons and manage those persons based on their system, it says a whole lot about mindset. It says a whole lot about leadership. When we look at their balance sheet, aha moments are there. When we see many developing countries, their leadership are struggling to even come close to this. That would be an important comparative analysis to make. and an important evaluation to make on mindset and ideology. And perhaps each party, each group, each ecosystem can learn from each other, because any political ecosystem that can drive their political leadership in such a way to duplicate a Walmart disposable income, believe me, and they're able to adopt the corporate culture, the value proposition to ensure that the benefits are filtering down throughout the organization, throughout the country. They're going to be in leadership for life. So the competition has to really come good. All right. Something to laugh about and something to think about. So in looking at the short and long-term vision, the brand expectation, value trade, these are all things that you want in your mind to be thinking about. So you're thinking about the business growth, the business expansion, the business diversification, the business integration into local, regional, international trade. And then you come to the other one, which we could call the short and long-term financial projection. Yes, you want to think about this, the short and long-term financial projections. And this for me is a pretty interesting topic, because as I talk about financial projections, I keep saying that you don't want to develop a cash flow projection that is simply based on speculation. And my son always said to me, speculative data. He spent too much time in my classroom. So he talks a lot about speculative data. And what speculative data means is that you sit in the office and you simply come up with a figure. As you develop your cash flow projection, you develop the potential cash flow potential that is based on speculative data. What you did, you throw primary market research and secondary market research out of the window, perhaps because of the high costs associated with primary market research, and perhaps the time that you have to commit to gather secondary data and study secondary data. You throw it all through the window, through the door, in the bathtub. We put tremendous emphasis on market intelligence. And this is one of the reasons why we talk about having a very skilled, savvy market researcher in your team dynamics, because they're able to go to the market. They're able to help you to identify your target market. They're able to help you to identify your market size. And it is based on understanding your market size. They can then make an accurate projection of the potential of that market to cash flow locally, regionally, and internationally. They're able to identify your competition. They're able to identify niche in the market and gaps in the market. They're able to apply the SWOT analysis to see your competition from the standpoint of strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. They're able to cut their niche out of the market. Without the market intelligence, you cannot make this kind of informed and educated decision. But here is where you're doing cash flow projection. Here is where you allow your team to make cash flow projection. Here is where you are complicit in this process, because you're trying to duck cost in developing your cash flow projection. And when things are not going exactly how you expect it to go, you blame everyone else, perhaps, but yourself. So as we look at the short-term and long-term financial projections, we really work with you in these areas to ensure that you're getting solid information. This is precisely one of the reasons why 10X Branded and Marketing LLC out of New York, that's why they are there. And that's why they continue to build partnership with leaders across the world, entrepreneurial minds across the world, that when we're ready to do market research globally, we have subject matter expert here to do it. That can significantly bring down the cost because we don't have to pay airfare for one place, carry a team from one place to another. We can use organic, persons who arrive there, persons who are familiar with the territory, persons who understand the territory, who can use innovative ways to gather accurate information at more cost-effective means. And we have that set up for you, and we are continue to do work to do greater, work to ensure that we are gathering this kind of intelligence to take you global, to help you build a brand with local, regional, and international relevance. So now you have this, you have the short and long-term business vision, you have the short and long-term cash flow projection. Now you need to develop the game plan and implement that game plan to achieve the objective. Is this the beginning and the end? No, it's not. Once this is done, remember we talked about QCMS, Quality Control Management Systems. We have designed our independent QCMS for our clients. We have studied the global market reality. And based on that study, based on brainstorming and think tanking, based on innovative thinking, based on extracting what is good in some of the academics and what is not, we have developed our independent QCMS system, Quality Control Management System. And here is where today we only talk about corporate culture and value proposition ecosystem, which is one of the 5 ecosystems. This now independently must be subjected to the QCMS, the Quality Control Management Systems. And here is where we talk about system transparency. Why is this important? So you take the time to build out your brand intention value to impact the workforce. Why do you want to have secrecy with this? The HR department should know this. The marketing and branding department should know this. The CFO should know this because they will be managing the team. And each department head must understand how to impact the workforce. What is your blueprint to achieve this? Are you keeping it secretive because you want to impact people in the workforce selectively or collectively? There must be transparency in this. All right, there must be fairness in how this is being done. Every single person in the workforce must feel as though they're part of your A game, they're part of the team, and your brand intention value traits to impact them must cut across the board. So perhaps your brand intention value traits might be to look at system that we might want to call paycheck protection program. It might be personal cash flow protection programs where you take your entire workforce and you build out a smart investment portfolio for them. And in that smart investment portfolio, They're able to get their dream home, get their dream car, invest in their children's college education, invest in higher learning, and so much more. There's no limit to creative thinking when it comes to building out your value proposition to impact your workforce, but then you don't want that to just impact a selective few. Your value proposition, your corporate culture, the brand intention value trade must be built out to affect everyone. And you need to have transparency with this. You need to have consistency with this. You need to have accountability with this. You need to have scalability with this. Why scalability is so necessary? If you recognize at the beginning of this program I start as we talk about how the brand intention value trade is designed to impact the workforce, I give you a list of them and I just give you a few others. That could be part of your scalability. Why? Because as your competition start to learn some of what they're doing and they want to position themselves in the market as the next cream of the crop, they may adopt what you're doing. But when they come there, you want to go beyond it. That's why you need scalability. Business is not static. It continues to change. Social and economic reality or natural realities continue to influence the business environment. All right? Natural and unnatural realities influence the business reality. The world today is in a global pandemic. How has that impacted the business reality? Tremendously. International trade ports are not functioning at, the optimum level. Goods and services are not, being transferred with the highest degree of efficiency. Service area has to identify new ways of doing it. Some are coming up with more innovative ways of doing it. But the business reality continues to change, and you have to know how to be flexible and adjust with global, social, and economic realities. So you also need this kind of think tank in your institution to ensure that you are staying 10 steps ahead of the game when it comes to managing your corporate portfolio. That's why we're here. Of course, as you build out these systems, you want traceability. You must be able to trace everything down. Trace it down. And you must be able to transfer this whole system from company to company or department to department, companies to companies, countries to country, as you build out your business ideology with local, regional, and international relevance. Well, folks, today you had an introduction to System Value Proposition 101. It's a unique ecosystem. And I simply want to say to you, we at Global Capital Inc. and 10X Credit and Marketing LLC out of New York, we are here to provide a service to you. And we want to partner with you, whether you're in the private sector or the public sector. Once you're serious about business development and you're serious about human resource development, and we're here for you. So if you're in business or you intend to get into business, again, I want to ask you to like, subscribe, and share. Press that notification bell so you will be the first to get these information that we bring into you on a daily basis. And we continue to do high-level research. If you looked at yesterday's program, we talked about equity capital markets and the private equity investors. And what we say is that You have over $1.7 trillion that's available in investment funds to be pumped into businesses. But in spite of the fact that we have $1.7 trillion that is available, we have thousands of businesses, micro, small, medium, and some large businesses that continue to go through their own difficulty to raise capital, to grow, diversify, and scale their operation. Of course, this platform will bring that information, and of course, we are continue to build out our institution to give you a holistic representation. So you have the information, you have access to the knowledge base to help you leverage this information into your business model to move. In closing, I want to continue to emphasize businesses across the world, there is an urgent need for mixed economic system. For those countries who already have a mixed economic system, and by mixed economic system, I'm saying that there is a need for, debt capital, equity capital, credit capital, smart capital. I want to say kudos to you. For those countries who do not have this, I want to say that there is an urgent need. The private sector needs access to a mixed economic market to help them to access capital at a faster pace, to help them to access capital at a more competitive rate, and to access all of those technical support systems that can ensure that they are getting capital at competitive rates so they can compete internationally and so much more. Those are issues that we will continue to dig into and discuss those critical issues to ensure that we're really helping businesses and all stakeholders to make more informed, better decisions in the collective interest. Again, like, subscribe, and share to this podcast. Find us on YouTube, Global Capital Inc., Gary Thompson. Find us on Facebook. Find us on Twitter, TikTok. We are on all of those platforms. So be blessed. It has been a pleasure being with you today. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature. And I'm the self-published, best-selling author for several books, including Billionaire Codes and Manager's Toolkit. I'm also the author for 10X Branding and Marketing Blueprint, The Psychology of Doing Business. And I spoke to you largely today from that book. All of those information is documented in that book. And when you get that book, when we publish it, we are now adding value. We're going the extra mile to ensure that we're going to be delivering above your expectation. Those information will be there. Remember, this is a period, an unusual period across the world. We are dealing with a pandemic. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to do the smart thing and protect yourself and safeguard yourself. And ensure that in the process that you're doing everything to boost your immune system. Whether you take the vaccine or you haven't taken it as yet, still continue to observe all of the protocols and also ensure that you're doing everything to boost your immune system. Be blessed and see you in the next broadcast. Be blessed. Access to capital is an essential part of doing business. Research conducted by Global Capital Inc. and 10X Branding and Marketing LLC out of New York is showing that over $1.7 trillion is available among private equity investors in dry powder. Now, in spite of this, we're seeing micro, small, medium, and large-scale businesses across the world continue to struggle to raise capital to invest in the growth, diversification, and the scale-up of their brands. The private equity investors, they are thinking cash flow and they are thinking risk control. And if you're able to put yourself in that position of strength to be able to speak to these two issues, cash flow and risk control, you may be very surprised to see how quickly you can access equity capital market when your brands are positioned in front of the right private equity investors. I want to encourage you to join me on this journey as we continue to do a deep dive into best practices to access the capital market. In this program, we will continue to look at the credit capital market, the debt capital market, equity capital market, and smart capital market. Join me as we explore the world of finance. Be blessed and see you soon.